Welcome back to The Real Room. I'm your host, Lacretia Mitchell. On this episode, I'm doing something I've never done before. That's sharing a piece of my story that I've kept tucked away. You see, it's easy to look at someone and assume you know the story, but behind the polished version, there's a process. And mine, it's been full of lessons I never saw coming. This next piece, it's not about politics. It's not about pleasing anyone. It's about the truth, my truth. It's about what it feels like to wake up one day and realize you've been molding yourself to fit a version of success that wasn't even yours. It's about being a Black woman, the only experience I can truly speak from, and the reality of walking into spaces where who you are gets misunderstood before you ever say a word. So on this episode, I'm going to let you in on something deeply personal. This is a piece I wrote, something I've never read publicly, but I feel led to now. Because maybe, just maybe, someone else needs the permission to take their mask off too. Let's get real. I want to introduce to you an open letter from a misunderstood Black woman. And it reads, "To whom it may concern, this is not for sympathy or to call out every person that has misunderstood me. It is written for you to simply understand some Black women you have encountered. It is to help, not harm. You see, as a passionate Black woman, I am eloquently writing from my heart in the hope that you open up yours. I have been a successful Black woman who has fit into every statistical bracket you could think of. Earning a master's degree has allowed me to walk into doors and sit at tables that many dream of. I have always had a passion for serving others, being a voice for the voiceless, and loving those who are marginalized. Nonetheless, none of that has eliminated the fact that I am a Black woman. Many people have preconceived assumptions of what it means to be Black. Any door I have entered in as a Black woman. For those of you that see me, you see my heart, you see my worth ethic, you see my passion, you see my faith, and you see a person just like you. For others of you, you see a Black woman and you have already decided who I am based on that. And let me say this, I thank you to those who truly just see me. My reality is for years, I have tried to live in a way that does not perpetrate society's image of a stereotypical Black woman. I fought to overcome every preconceived label by pushing myself beyond limits and achieving academic successes in hopes that I could be seen as an equal. Despite my hard work, my education, my dedication, there were many times that I wasn't given an opportunity that I had earned. My counterparts were often less experienced, less qualified, but they were chosen over myself. There were times in the professional setting where the actions of others were overlooked and met with grace, while mine were questioned, labeled with motives, and reprimanded. And you see, I was not afforded the opportunity to have a bad day. My attitude had to be upbeat and supportive at all times. Otherwise, I am perceived as having a poor attitude and being disrespectful. My character has always been questioned and attacked, many times in the workplace. Those in authority have sat back and passively supported it. When I have attempted to explain or defend it, it has been seen as insubordinate and non-compliant, and I am not afforded the opportunity to speak up without fear that what I say and how I say it can be used against me simply because I am a woman, a Black woman. How do we combat the stereotypes that society places on us? Black women have attitudes, angry Black women, uneducated Black women are phrases that we hear far too often. I learned the life lesson skill of becoming a chameleon. I had to blend in and adapt. I nodded and smiled. I watched my tone. I refrained from too much slang. I held back my input. I had to be pleasant, and I tried not to bring too much attention to myself. When I am faced with an issue or disagreement with someone, I have to be hyper aware. I think carefully about my words and tone so that they don't feel attacked. If I express myself passionately as I normally would, I would be labeled angry and aggressive. Reminding myself constantly, don't roll your neck or make sudden movements, don't use your hands to talk, be subtle and keep a low and calming voice. Make them feel comfortable. It is unfair that I have to think so much and change who I am so that others feel safe and comfortable. The tough reality is that I have been forced to be comfortable around others and their environments my entire life. Have you ever had to be the minority every day of your life? Have you ever had to hide parts of yourself out of fear of rejection or being misread? Maybe you were a little uncomfortable, maybe you were accepted, maybe you were rejected, or maybe you felt invincible. Imagine living that every day, being the minority, trying to fit in, trying to be accepted, and at the same time trying to hold on to who you are. Far too often, I hear the stories of the weight that Black people feel every day as their Black sisters and brothers are targeted, discriminated against, and disregarded. I encourage you to learn from Black brothers and sisters to understand that their passion and their struggles and to speak up against injustices against someone other than yourself. I love being a Black woman. I love my culture and the pride that we have. Being proud of who I am is not saying you are less than or you are unworthy. So many times I have felt unworthy and less than, and I am in a season where I want to celebrate who I am. The curse and the gift of being a chameleon is exhausting. I get tired of caging my true self for the sake of someone else's perceived threat. I shouldn't have to dumb down my passion and who I am naturally because you don't understand me. Are you saying to yourself right now, she just wants attention? I'm tired of hearing about race. Why don't they just get over it? Honestly, I wish I didn't have to speak on this. I am tired of talking about it too. I am disheartened by my everyday reality and that after 8 years since I wrote this piece, things have seemed to not change. I may say, has even gotten worse. I am tired of seeing so many people, especially Black women, struggling with having to change up when they walk into a room. I am tired of them not being their authentic selves out of fear of being judged, criticized, and held back from what they have worked so hard to accomplish. We can't get over it because history keeps repeating itself. And although I have not let the world or others stand in the way of my success, the road has not been easy. The system is not accommodating to all people, nor does it consider the centuries of trauma that my people have had to endure. We cannot simply get over it until it is truly addressed. Imagine suffering a deep wound on your arm that goes ignored, untreated, it festers, it becomes infected, and leads to greater harm. That is the mirror image of what the Black community continues to endure. Healing cannot happen where there is denial. Restoration requires acknowledgement, care, and intentional effort. So the remedy? It's education. Black history is American history. We must realize that African Americans have made a large contribution, a huge contribution to the history of the United States of America. Educating our youth and ourselves while highlighting Black pride will hopefully prevent the insensitivity, distrust, and disdain for treating African Americans and other people of color as second-class citizens. This is one race, and that is the human race. As I close, I ask you to remember this. There is deep, undeniable value in my Blackness. There is power in my presence, beauty in my voice, and worth in every room I walk into. I am not meant to conform to fit into spaces. I am meant to exist fully and freely, just as I am. So release assumptions, lay down the stereotypes, and stop asking me to shrink so that others can feel comfortable. My plea is simple. Allow me the dignity and the freedom to be a Black woman unapologetically, just as God created me to be. And to those shaping the minds of the next generation, teach them. Even when the world attempts to erase our stories from textbooks and libraries or headlines, don't let them forget. Truth lives beyond the curriculum. Legacy is passed down in conversation, in courage, and in community. So let us educate, elevate, and empower, not just for ourselves, but for every soul that will walk this road after us. Because just as we've endured, they too deserve the rise, fully seen, fully heard, and fully free. Until the next time.